what happened? We need to get back to basics. We need to change our training methods. We need to do this and do that. But they forget about it quickly, and they make comments about him being a textbook fanatic. The fact that he's banned that sort of stuff for a dressing room should be, it should be a no-brainer. That's the sort of thing that they do.
It should highlight the fact that it's not been banned. It shouldn't highlight him doing it. It should highlight the fact that that's been allowed to happen.
It should get this prick in the 90-minute Cynic and we'll have a word to him. Can you imagine if he was sitting in this living room now and we were talking?
I think you'd justify yourself. I think you'd go, Keith, I'm a big fan of your work. You're a fantastic journalist. You're a fantastic author.
See if he was well dressed, I probably would.
Okay, so just sticking with Celtic, Dinamo Zagreb on Thursday. It's a key game. It's a first European game at home since the horror show that was Maribor.
I'd give the boys a couple of cans of ginger and let them have a donut, you know what I mean?
Aye, get involved. How do you think it's going to go, Chris, and how would you line up?
I'd go 2 up top, just because, as you say, we've looked a bit sharper, we've looked a bit more potent when we've done that. In terms of approaching the game, of the belief we'll probably have a bit more room. I've got a good feeling about the game. I just think that'll suit Dyler, that'll suit his approach to what we do. If we play 2 up top and we go at them, I don't know. I think we're still nowhere near where we want to be, but there's been subtle improvements in the last few games.
Correct.
And I think if we approach this game in the right manner and a positive frame of mind, we could come away with a decent win.
I was impressed with Mocasso. I think he's going to have a lot of space. I think he's going to have a lot of space and room in behind. I think they're going to attack us, which I think will suit us as well. Louis, Tonev, would you start him in this game?
Would I start him? Possibly. First of all, when you mentioned Mocasso there, I thought Mocasso was really good at the weekend against St Mirren.
Yeah.
And I thought he wasn't what I thought he was. He wasn't just a winger, a pacey winger, which I just had him down as the kind of DDI Gat style role of getting to the byline, getting a ball in, and he's a lot more than that. I think he's shown since he came into the team. He comes inside a hell of a lot. I thought he played more through the middle against St Mirren.
I think he actually moved through the middle at one point.
And he seemed to be good on the ball. He was making a lot of through balls, which I thought were very intelligent, good passes. A lot of the time he didn't connect, or the player running on him didn't latch onto him, fair enough. But I thought his vision was good. The way he linked things up. The role he played in the centre made me think more like he was almost in a Commons type role, but with more energy.
I think you've nailed it there, yeah.
So I was impressed with him. I think he can obviously play in the middle and he can also play out wide, which is great. That's what we need. So for the game, I don't know. I agree. I think we could certainly get something out of the game, and I think we could win the game. But we need players who have a lot of energy and can put in a right good shift, I think. And by saying a right good shift, I don't mean players who don't have a lot going forward. I mean players who can do both. I don't think Chris Commons should play, because I don't think he offers enough going forward and back. I personally struggle to see why Chris Commons should be in the team. Now, fair enough, we struggled to create during the weekend at St Mirren. We did, and having Commons in there would have helped that. But at the same time, I think the way Castle played almost in that role, I thought he was good, and I thought you could play him there. So I think if we have enough players who are committed, who have the energy, maybe more than the likes of Commons does, who can be a bit more static and not really put in a lot of work defensively. If we've got a team that's a bit more balanced as well, I think we could win it. And I would I think we'll probably counter-attack more than what a lot of people would like us to, but I think that's what will happen because it kind of suits Dyla's setup.
Yeah, great stuff. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Were you going to say something, Chris?
Just talking about Commons now, I'd read on one of the forums about Commons apparently scored no goals in 17 games. Is that right?
I don't know. Is it?
It seems as if it's crap. I don't know, but if that's true, now it's one of the easiest things to do. When Dyla was getting criticised, was he obviously drop Commons. One of the easiest things to do was say, "Oh, you dropped Chris Commons, 32 goals last season. That just shows you how much you had it, you are, Dyla, But it's, I don't know if Commons is the answer. It's Dyla's prayers that they make it out like he's a really creative player. He's a massive goal threat. Now, if he hasn't been hitting the net regularly this season, if that's true, that says a lot.
He's got 4 goals in 13 games this season.
Right, so it's a lot push now.
Yeah.
Right, okay. But what I'm saying is, in terms of his impact on the games, I scored a penalty. What the hell is that? What a shite, actually. What I'm saying is, I don't think that Commons is the
long-term answer.
The long-term answer. I don't think he's made out to be a really creative player. I don't think that's the case. I think what a lot of the times he does is he shoots for distance and he's got a good shot.
Yeah.
If he scores, great. If he doesn't, he's a lot of the times he's not offering a lot more. I ain't saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying
Chris Commons to me
it's dead easy.
Is a band-aid at the moment for a bigger problem. I like Chris Commons. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's. I don't think he should. I don't think he will fit into the style that we want to play. He might work just now. He frustrates me because, as you say, he seems to just take a shot, and look, he's got more qualities than that, but he's playing poorly this season. He's just not in form this season. Ultimately, I just want to ask both of you. There's two words I'm going to say to you, and I'd like your reaction. Callum McGregor. Chris.
Here we go. Well, I said it last week. I think McGregor needs a spell on the sidelines. I know we can have a discussion about. Louis said it would perhaps benefit him to stay in the team, to kind of learn his craft and learn what it's like to take a dip. And in terms of the idea behind that, I'm not against it, but I think his performances have really dropped, and I think that in terms of what we need to keep going. We've got two wins in a row now. We need to build a momentum and stuff like that. And McGregor could be a player, that could sit out for now.
Yeah.
To even as much to refresh him and to refresh the side. I think Dyler's shown a lot of faith in the boy. Starting him, he's basically a regular starter this season, but I think he might benefit from a few games on the sidelines.
Louis?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of contradict my own point last time, and I agree. Although part of me thinks it would be better for him to learn from his mistakes, I think at the weekend again he wasn't great, and it is kind of getting to that point now where there's possibly other players in the team that we could be seeing, and he's holding them back as well. I don't think he's been great. It'd be very hard for anybody to argue that he's really continued on with that early promise that he showed, and it's not. I don't think he's going to go totally backwards, but maybe he just does need a wee bit of time on the bench just to assess things for a couple of games, and it gives us a chance to see who else is out there.
Yeah, Celtic are unbeaten in 5 games, and we've had one defeat this season in terms of league form. See, for a lot of teams, it's not the worst run. It's just a shame that if we hadn't drawn with Motherwell, we would have been going into a 4-match winning streak. But we drew. What are you going to do? We'll move on from that. My predictions for Zagreb.
3-1 Celtic.
Louis?
I think it'll be a bit tighter than that, to be honest. I think it'll either be 1-0 Celtic or 2-1.
I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. I agree with you both. I think 3-1 as well. I think 3-1. Any other kind of comments or points you want to make? Virgil van Dijk getting racial abuse it's just there's not a lot we can say about it other than it's disgusting and we want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, we condemned Tonev last week. I mean, I think his hearing's on the 30th of October. I'm still under the impression that I don't see why the guy would make that up. So, if found guilty, hammered, and who was it that's supposed to have abused?
It's not by supporters.
It's a supporters. Yeah.
Right. St Mirren should face some sort of sanction for that. It's just stamp it out. No, no tolerance for it at all.
Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance.
Louis, you'd obviously echo those comments.
Aye, of course. Aye, it's horrible. It's sad that there's these kind of racial incidents getting publicised. Not publicised rightly because it's disgusting, but yeah, I mean, hopefully the appropriate action is taken.
Just a quick point. Marcelo Brozovic, which is the kind of key Dinamo Zagreb playmaker, has been watched by Arsenal. The 21-year-old is seen as a huge talent for the future, so he'll be one to watch out on Thursday.
Do you know that one thing that worries me? It's the fact that we've all sat here and thought that Celtic will win. See if the opinion is that Ronnie Dyler is going to deliver a victory in Europe for Celtic.
Yeah, sorry.
Could there possibly be pressure there?
We've already done that. Iceland twice.
Well,
phenomenal victories, Lee.
We're just sort of watching the highlights of the Rangers Hibs.
Isn't it great to see them struggling against Green
This is the team that Alan McCoy said was pretty much on. I'm sorry, Barry Ferguson said was on par with Celtic. I've seen Celtic defend badly, but I've never seen them defend that badly this season. It's currently 3-0. Kenny Miller looks upset, and so does your man who used to play for Motherwell as well.
He's just generally angry in that game.
Yeah, he's just an arsehole.
See
to
that Kenny Miller.
To get back to the big leagues here, come on now.
Yeah.
Talking about Zagreb, now that Louis mentioned that, I'm slightly worried. We're all very confident about it.
We've never been that confident at Ronnie Dyler side.
I was pretty much bracking myself for the Salzburg game, but
what was the score with the Zagreb's first game?
6 or something like that.
Yeah, and we think we're going to beat them.
Zagreb drew with the bottom team in Croatia at the weekend. The manager basically came out and said Celtic will tank us if we don't perform, if we don't improve. So they're not going through. They're not in the greatest run of form at the moment. So let's be positive and we'll get a Celtic victory.
3, 5, 0, 1, 2, 5, go! I came around. I grew up not a changeling. So when the first time around, I could see all the weakness. I could pick all the faults. But I could see all the fake tests. Just a stick in your throat. BYG. 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 To mirror all that you've done, to find the right side of reason, until the feel like for one. I can see all the cold facts, I can see through your eyes. All this told me no contact, no matter how I may try. BYG, BYG. BYG. I can still hear the footsteps. I can see all the walls. I slid into your man traps. With no hearing at all, I just see contradiction. I to give up the fight, just to live in the past tense, to make believe you were right.